Alright, y'all, what's going on? So I want to go ahead and start something new today, man. We're gonna go ahead and start vlogging. I'm gonna show you guys a little bit of the day in the life, pretty much what I do every day, and just have some conversation with you guys, some real conversations. I feel like 2025 to me is gonna be all. I've always been transparent, but I want to be transparent. Like, I want to be crystal clear. I want people to understand what it really is like to be an entrepreneur, what it's like to own multiple businesses, have a big family, have, especially run a business like Scott Micropigmentation, and just like the regular stuff that we also got to do throughout the day too, as far as just to live as a human being. So I know y'all see me with this big old chunky Cuban link, but it's that time of the year again, man, when we get we start at Gasparilla. So I had to get a big old medallion with the 6E. We'll be out there, be hundreds of thousands of people out there. We throwing beads. So I gotta rep the brand at all times, man. So that's number one, man. When it comes to being an entrepreneur, when it comes to doing something that you believe in, something that you want people to know. Like, for me, it's never been about money. I don't do things for money. Money to me is just a reward based on how good of a job that I do, that I perform. All right, now I want to make money. Everybody does at the end of the day. But what it really comes down to is leaving a legacy, leaving something for people to remember you by. Right? I want my kids to be proud of me. I want them to see, I put in that work. I did what I had to do in my short period on this earth to be able to live to my full potential. And a lot of people work because they have to, and they are miserable with it because they do something that they don't love to do. So I'm definitely fortunate because at the age of 14 I finally figured out what it was that I wanted to do. I'll just take you back down that way a little bit. But man, when I was young, I was lazy as shit. I wanted to be a baseball player, or I wanted to be an architect, man, to be real with you, as a kid. But honestly, I didn't have the work ethic for either or. I played baseball a lot. Not organized. Organized, I only played like 2 years. My parents weren't really too into like taking me to the sports and all of that stuff. They really didn't have time or the money to do their part with that. But as far as like being an architect or going to school or anything like that, man, I definitely wasn't a dedicated type. I definitely wasn't the school type, the studying type, anything like that. So it's crazy. I went through a crazy time when I was about 11 years old. I almost lost both my parents to 2 separate car accidents, and I had to grow up and be a man at that time. And I always tell people that God works in mysterious ways, right? Things happen for a reason, and there's always a positive to every negative. And for me, the positive in that whole situation is that I had to grow up. I had to take life serious and do things that I was lazy as hell, man. Like I told you guys, I wouldn't pick up my room. I wouldn't do anything. So I had to take my father's showers. I had to cook. I had to clean. I had to manage his money to pay the bills. I had to do all kind of stuff that wasn't in the norm for me to really do, especially being a kid. So with that being said, that whole experience, that whole thing, that whole life-changing situation that I went through turned me into the man that I am today, as far as understanding and taking things serious. Whenever we got to get things done, we just get them done. It is what it is, whether you like it or not. It's got to get done at the end of the day. So we I learned a lot, and in the midst of all of that, being able to hang out with my friends, especially one of my closest friends, Gus. This dude, he was about 19 years old. I was about 13 at the time, and I used to just always go hang out with him. I grew up in an apartment complex, so he lived in the 3rd floor, I lived in the 1st floor. But he's the one that used to cut up everybody in the neighborhood, all the young crowd, because my parents were also barbers, and they cut all the older people. So just hanging out with him, watching him cut hair. One day I kind of just figured out how to do a fade, right? It just clicked to me. And then I also seen him hold the edges kind of like a pencil. So that's what got me interested in, damn, can I draw on somebody's head? And sure enough, man, I drew the Cisco dragon, you know, for all my old heads. Y'all know Drew Hill. But basically that Japanese dragon that kind of body swirls like that. So I drew that in the back of my boy's head with a big pen, shaved his head down to a number 1, cut out the dragon, gave him a little fade on the sides where he still had hair and stuff, and man, that was it. That's pretty much what happened. Like, that's how I became a barber. Like, I fell in love with the fact that I could use people's heads as my canvas to express my art. And you know, just understanding that doing simple haircuts like a bald fade, there's art in that too, because you got to create those gradients and the shape of the lines, the symmetry, and then on top of that, the way people felt after giving them a good haircut. So, you know, that's just a quick little rundown of my background. But all right, listen, I got to start my day off with the gym. Y'all know I went through a massive transformation, man. I was about 300 pounds back in 2020. I've been heavy, I'll say, since I was about like 20 years old, 21 years old. I started getting crazy weight. I got to the point where I was 300 pounds. And, you know, did what I had to do. Still got on stages, still ran around the country with exotics and doing the hair shows and all of that, and put myself out there to be able to build a brand. But I definitely hated the way I looked. So in 2020, you know, COVID hit and all of that stuff, and you know, we were stuck at home, and to me that was one of my favorite times ever, just because I was able just to be there with the family, bro, like not have to worry about working, right? I feel like we should definitely have like 2 or 3, at least 2 months or 1 month at least. Give me 1 month a year where we could just shut down and not have to worry about anything, yo. But you know, that was a great time. But I did realize that it's like, look, man, like I got the businesses, I'm successful at everything that I've done. I got the family that I've always wanted. Shit, even the 2 dogs, the big house with the pool, basketball court. Like, why am I still miserable, right? And at the end of the day, it was really the way I felt. So I decided to go ahead and get gastric bypass surgery, due to my wife pushing me, and then also 2 of my closest friends, you know, pushing me to go ahead and get it done too. One of them had actually gotten it done. The other one was a doctor that suggested that would be a better solution for me, especially because I've always fluctuated, man. I'll drop 50, 60 pounds and then I'll gain that shit right back. So he told me, he was like, just get the surgery done. You're gonna lose about 100 pounds with it, and it's gonna be hard as hell to gain that shit back. It'll help you manage for the next 2 to 3 years, which is what it takes for your body to adjust to the new weight and to the way it is, so that your body doesn't just spike back up and continue to gain the weight. So that made a lot of sense to me. And again, my buddy that got it done too, I seen how it worked. How it worked for him. So, you know, fuck it, we do it. So all right, so now we're in 25, man. I'm 198 pounds, and I'm doing a workout program right now. It's a 12-week workout program from one of my close friends, to Will Perez. Shout out to Will. My boy's been killing it in the fitness industry for a minute now. He killed it in the barber industry, especially with YouTube and all that stuff. Made a big name for himself, and now he's doing it with the fitness industry, and he's doing his online coaching thing. So, you know, I definitely got a rep for my boy. So I'm gonna get into this gym right now. I'll check back with you guys later. In and out, got it done. About 45 minutes. Had a great chest and a tricep pump. Ooh, about 15 minutes on the treadmill, high incline. Decent speed, about 3.5, not too crazy. Let's go, got the rest of the day. Gym is done. We got the first thing out the way. Heading over to my sister-in-law's crib, so check it out. Let me show you something. So you see I got this made right here, right? The funny thing with red, man, red is a funny color, bro, when it comes to printing. So this red actually looks like orange red. It doesn't look like, you know, the 6E red. So I'm heading over to my sister-in-law's crib. She got the Cricut, so she's gonna pretty much make the whole red with the 6 and all of that shit and just place it on top of there. If we're gonna be out there repping, bro, we gotta rep the right way. I can't be out there with an orange and white 6E logo. That thing gotta be red, bright red. So yeah, man, so we'll knock that out real quick. Get back to the house real fast, shower up. I got a client of mine for S&P that's flying in from New Jersey This is his second session. Shout out to my boy Danny, Success Addict. He actually referred one of his close friends, one of his longtime clients, to me. Super cool dude. But yeah, he's flying in from New Jersey. He gets in around 10:30 this morning. So I'll be over there at the airport. I'm gonna go scoop him up, show my little hospitality. You know, every once in a while when I can, I do that, but I've honestly been thinking about incorporating that into my service, man. Whenever clients fly in from out of state or out the country, man, because I've had people come from, even from Saudi Arabia, bro. It's wow, 22-hour flight, man. 3 flights just to get here. I've had 2 clients come from there. But yeah, man, so I don't know. Let me know in the comments what you guys think, if I should definitely incorporate that service into my clients that are flying in and out from out of state and out the country. Just because the great thing with SMP, it only takes anywhere from 2.5 to 5 hours to do per session. So the reason people fly into me so much, obviously they like the way I do my procedures and the texture that I create and the hairline shaping, you know, whatever, the stuff that attracts them to my work, is the convenience of being able to fly in and out the same day. So if somebody wants to get SMP done and flying in, you get here about 9, 10 o'clock, even 11 o'clock in the morning. I can knock out your SMP and you'll be on a flight back home anytime after 6 p.m., 5 p.m. You'll be heading back home. So I've had clients that flew in, wife didn't even know he was out of town, bro. Flew in. I had one guy came from Michigan, flew in, got his SMP done, flew right back, wife didn't even know he was out the state. So it's crazy, but it could definitely be done. No rushing, but good, man. We just get it done. Hey, so all right, we'll drop off this chain and shower up, and then catch you guys back in a little bit. Yo, all right, real quick product promo real fast for my people, man. But listen, you see this texture and shit I got in my hair right now? Like, you know, I just showered, blow dried my hair, but before I blow dry my hair, I spray a little bit of this stuff right here. This H14 texturizing tonic sea salt spray. Bro, this stuff is fire because it gives you that nice little dry look when it stands up. And then for like the little separation and texture styling wise, 245 Invincible Clay. This shit right here is the truth, bro. There's nothing out there that could compare to this clay right here, man. I like the dry look, and I like my hair just to look dry. Like this is just how it's styled. You know what I'm saying? So that's what the 245 clay does. This is a true matte right here. No shiny finish. Like the little shine that you see in my hair, that's just natural shine from good hair, baby. And the lighting up in here is crazy. So just wanted to put that out there real fast. All right, y'all, so we are back. So I'm on the way now to the airport to go pick up my boy. He's about to land any minute now. So I got about like a 25-minute ride. So I should give him time to get his bag and stuff like that. And meet me outside. But yo, again, full transparency, right? So this is my first vlog. I've never really been known to be too much of a talker, bro. But if I'm talking about something that I know, I can definitely do it. So also, if I am just kind of all over the place, forgive me. It will get better, I promise, as more vlogs start to come out. Definitely want to interact with you guys a lot more. But first off, I know you guys noticed I just switched. I went from horizontal to landscape. I didn't even pay attention, man. I'm so used to just recording reels and stuff, and my videos being up and down, horizontal, being vertical. Right, I'm so used to my videos being vertical that I always forget to film horizontal, and then you know I can get a bunch of trash talk from some of the people especially on YouTube platforms like that, where it's all about it being horizontal for long form videos. But alright, enough with that. So let's talk a little bit about transparency when it comes to SMP, scalp micropigmentation. Right, this is the best #1 solution for hair loss, man. You know, a lot of times people get hair transplants, and well, honestly, let's take it back. Once you start experiencing hair loss and you start looking into hair loss solutions and ways to help you with that, the first thing that always comes up is hair transplants. And if not hair transplant, it's like Rogaine or you know, all these other medications, man, that are to help you grow your hair, right? That don't work, man. I don't understand how some of these companies are still in business and how people really commit to it, knowing that the proof isn't there. You know what I'm saying? Like, people use this stuff. There's way more. Well, there's a lot of content out there, like real life content from actual people that talk about how they use that stuff, and yeah, it thickened the hair, the little bit of hair that they had, but the moment they stopped using it, it all fell out and even more fell out. And the thing is that that's exactly what that stuff does. It just kind of feeds the hairs that are pretty much on their way out already and makes them look thicker, but they don't get longer. There is no proving growth. Like, you can't grow out a man bun using that stuff, right? Or grow your hair long enough and strong enough to like braid your hair or do dreads or just really style your hair. Like, you got to be so careful with even the way you dry your hair. Like, you can't be, you know, towel drying, which you shouldn't. You should always, you know, kind of pat dry, rub a little bit, and then blow dry. If anything, that's the healthiest way for your hair follicles, just so you're not creating all that friction. But yeah, you know, taking those medications, it's really a placebo, man. It makes you think it's working, it makes you think the hair is going to come back, but the moment you can't afford to keep it going, or you get tired of taking all this medication, or you start experiencing some of these side effects, which one of the main one for men isn't one that any man would want to experience. But once you start experiencing these side effects, you know, all your hair falls out, and then what, you know? So I get it. You know, people will get a hair transplant and then they still got to take those minoxidils and all of that stuff to avoid the rest of the hairs to fall out. So I'm just going to speak from my experience with all the clients that I've been having, especially lately. I've been getting a lot of hair transplant clients that have gotten hair transplants. Some of them have gotten really good results from it, and some have gotten no results from it, so a failed transplant. And even though guys with really good results, they still don't have the amount of density that they think that they dreamed that they were going to have, right? That the hair transplant doctor pretty much made them feel like they were going to have. Like, they leave there and they think that they're going to walk out of there with this thick amount of hair. And the reality is, since I was a barber, let's talk way before doing SMP, I used to always talk to my clients, and when they mentioned to me about wanting to get a hair transplant, I'd always help them understand, really, it's like, if you're missing handful of hair right here, do you really think that a little tiny strip from the back of your head is going to fill all that in? You would literally have to take a handful of hair, all this off, and put it here in order for it to fill in. It's not like, you know, with grass, you could put like little pieces of grass, like grass plugs in your lawn, and the grass will eventually spread, right? Grass does have seeds that it sheds and stuff like that, and eventually it'll spread all the way through. Hair doesn't do that. It's one hair follicle produces whatever 1 to 3 hairs coming out of that hair follicle, and that's it. It's not gonna spread. It's not gonna, like, you're not gonna plant one hair follicle and then you're gonna get magically over the years get 10 hair follicles surrounding that one hair follicle. So you would have to take that amount of hair off to replace that area that you're missing. Especially, you know, my guys that I do consultations with that are like, you know, I'm between getting SMP or getting a hair transplant, and they have no hair on top of the head at all. Even if you had, you know, full density, real thick, the thickest density you could possibly have on the sides and the back in the donor area, you would have to completely take all that off and put it all over the entire top to make it look like something. And then if the majority of it actually sticks, because a lot of that hair falls out in the transition. Like, your body doesn't retain all the hair follicles, so you know, you're left with doing 2, possibly even 3 hair transplant procedures, and which means more scarring. And yes, FUE people, my people that are out there going to Turkey to go get FUEs, that argue with me all the time talking about, I'm not gonna have no scars, the doctor told me I won't have any scars. He's a hair transplant doctor, he knows more than you just tattoo heads. Well, I tattoo FUE scars all the time, even though they are less noticeable if you leave a decent amount of hair growing around those little tiny scars to cover it up. But the moment you shave that thing down, it's gone. You're gonna see all those gaps, especially if they take too much, right, from the donor area. You're left with a big old patches on the back of your head, and you'll never be able to rock a bald fade or have, you know, different versatility with your haircut. Like, you're pretty much stuck to having one hairstyle to be able to cover up that scarring. And you know, with SMP though, I can blend that in. I could fill in those little gaps to make it look like there's hair stubble growing in there. Now the thing is that you will either still have to let some of that hair hang over if you want to have a fuller hairstyle, like let's say like a blowout or something, or like a taper where you have more hair covering it, right? But it's gonna give the illusion of a full head of hair. You won't have all those little gaps in between the hair that you can see your scalp. Or if you want to be able to switch it up and rock a bald fade, right, take that fade up higher, then that stubble's going to be there, so that when the barber cuts your hair, it's going to blend right in. I've done multiple of them. I'll even, you know, post a couple here so you can see what I'm talking about. But you know, the SMP is going to fill that in. And then when it comes to the density on the top, no matter what, when you get a hair transplant, you're going to need SMP, because you're going to need to fill in those little gaps in between that the hair transplant didn't provide you with. So it's going to give you a much more fuller look. It's going to give you options to be able to wear your hair short or wear your hair long, because even if you got a good successful hair transplant, you're going to have to wear your hair long. You will not be able to wear your hair short and think that you're going to get like a 2 on top or a 1 on top or a 3 on top and it's going to look good. It's going to look really thin in the front, really thin in the back, wherever you got the transplant, and then it's going to be full in the middle if you have hair in the middle, right? So it's not going to look good. So, and that's just experience, man. And when I say experience, I've been a barber 27 years, and I've been an SMP artist for 7 years, going on 8 years this year. And I've been dealing with the hair transplant clients forever since I've been a barber. I always pay close attention to people that were losing their hair, and I specialized in manipulating their hair to give the illusion that there is more hair on top of the head, so that they will feel more confident, more comfortable with their hairstyles, until, you know, eventually when it came down to the point to where I feel like, man, we're trying too much, we're trying too hard, it's starting to look ridiculous. It's like people know you're trying to hide this. That's when it'd be time to shave it. And you know, best thing ever was being able to learn about scalp micropigmentation and finding out that this exists. Right, because it was a solution for my clients that were losing their hair, man. So you know, one of the reasons I succeeded so fast with SMP was because of that. I already had the clientele for it, and my clientele, you know, there's a misconception that people getting into this industry think that because they are barbers and they have this huge clientele, they're going to be able to get into SMP and just transition immediately. It really, I'm gonna keep it real with you, man, it really comes down to the relationships that you have with your clients, on how much they trust you with whatever it is that you think you could do to make them look and feel better. Just because you're an amazing barber, just because you give them a great haircut, doesn't mean they trust you with everything. They trust you with the haircut, they know that for sure, but now you're tattooing their scalp, right? If you're a party animal, if you're somebody that, you know, you're just a fun, good time, but you're not really somebody that they can take serious, because sometimes you leave them hanging, sometimes you don't show up, sometimes you cancel on them, you reschedule them all the time, or they know that you're just all over the place. You know, one month you're a realtor, another month you're a car salesman, another month you're doing cryptocurrency, and then the next month you're like, if you're one of those people, your clients will not trust you with getting into a new thing, because you've done so many things throughout the years that they've seen being in your chair, that they're just gonna look at this like, oh, this is just another one, and this is one that could affect them really badly if it goes wrong. So don't take offense to your clients not trusting you with SMP, or feel like, you know, if you take my class, I didn't teach you what you needed to know. Nah, it has a lot to do with building trust. All right, so with me, my clientele, they really trusted me. They knew I'm a family man. They know that everything I do, I put right back into the business. They know I've always invested into myself. When I started going to these hair shows, and you know, everything I ever did was to improve not only myself, but them as well. So just learning new services, learning new ways to make them look better and feel better. Learning ways to, you know, help them with whatever it is, whether it's with their hairstyle, their styling themselves, or even just on a personal level, right? With relationships and family and their kids. Like, you know, there was a real family type trust between my clients and myself. And that's why when I got into SMP, you know, I told them off rip, I was like, listen, I found out about this procedure right here. I'm thinking about doing SMP or doing the man units, right, the wigs. And I asked them which one they would prefer, and I showed them pictures and videos and stuff. And 99% of them said that they would not rock a wig, that they would rather get the tattoo, that the tattoo looks more realistic. They don't want to leave work on Friday with a bald head and come in on Monday with a full head of hair, you know, unless they were moving. Like, this is just, you know, honest opinion from like my clientele. That was my experience with it. I know there's people out there that are killing the whole units. I actually pretty curious to get back into that, but everybody was with the tattoo, so I was able to take a course, learn how to do SMP. I already had 26 people ready to go to learn, to let me use them as models. And you know, they all paid. I was charging super cheap. I was charging $200 to $500 per session, depending on how much I had to do. And it was really just to help, you know, make the money back, establish my my office, and be able to turn this into an actual business. Because again, man, they were with it, they were okay with it, because they know that anything I invest in, I put my everything into it, especially with something so serious as a scalp tattoo, right? Scalp micropigmentation. So yeah, so it was easy for me to transition just because I built that trust, man. So if you're thinking about getting into SMP, it's more than just being an amazing barber that cuts great hair, right? It's a lot more than that. You're gonna have to create a presence of trust. So my entire branding has always been built on trust. If you know me from however many years you've known me, you know, I've been in the hair industry, doing the shows and all that stuff since 2009. And everything was always official. Like, if you met me back then and you know me still today, you would say that I haven't changed at all. I'm still the same exact person. I still treat people the same exact way, and that's just how it is with me. So I've been able to transition this business the same way, and even the barbershop, like a lot of barbers come and work in my shops, and it's because they know that I have some structure. I still keep it, you know, barber vibe, but I have structure, and that they can trust me that if I tell them that this is what we're gonna do, this is what we're gonna do. If some breaks, it gets fixed. Like there's really nothing negative, man, that anybody could ever say about me. And I've built that with my brand, so that I know, because I know at the end of the day, my brand is not just going to represent me, it's going to represent others that are under me, and also represents my family. So it's very important. So I say that because if you're trying to get into a business that is trust-based like this, which is way more trust-based than barbering, because they got to trust you to cut their hair too, but this is way more trust-based, you will have to put in a lot of work, man. Social media, for one, is, to me, it's the number one way I get the most clients off of social media, especially Instagram. That's like my number one right there. But it also took a lot of posting and showing me doing the work. So because I had those 26 clients ready to go, I was able to generate a lot of content where people seen every single day, they seen that I was doing something with SMP, whether it was practicing, whether it was setting up to do a client, doing a first session, doing a testimony, doing in between, doing before and afters, second session, third session, fourth session, like whatever it was, you know, just talking about SMP, letting people know that I'm knowledgeable about this and I know what I'm talking about, and I'm learning and I'm becoming a professional, all the way to now, to where I'm like, this is what I do, this is what I know, like there's no way around it. And don't take it wrong, I'm not saying I'm always a student, so there is always something to learn with this, which is what keeps this interesting. Things do evolve. We have better inks, better needles, there's better technique, all of that stuff from when I first started. So, you know, I love it. So yeah, so always be a student, man. That's definitely a gem in life. Always be a student. So being able to provide all that information, and that's proof where these clients could actually trust you, man. You know, some people are going to jump on board the moment you say you're doing it because they deal with you like that, but then some people are going to want to see you putting in the work for a couple of years before they finally commit to get it done. And they may want it to be done now, but because they are so loyal to you and they like you as a person, they're going to wait a year, 2 years, maybe even 3 years to go ahead and commit and let you be the one to do their life-changing transition with SMP. So, you know, I know there's a lot of information, man, and I don't want to get over carried away. because there's gonna be plenty of vlogs. We're gonna find different topics to talk about and stuff like that, man. So I'm driving through downtown right now. Flip the camera. Ooh, we got downtown Tampa, man. My city is fire, bro. I'm originally from Miami, Florida, and I moved up here in 2005. December 2005, just for a change of pace. You know, I had a kid. I was 21 years old. I had my firstborn, and I wanted to, you know, well, we wanted to. My wife and I wanted to switch it up, and really, it was more her than anything else. I honestly didn't want to leave Miami. I had just opened up my barbershop down there. I was doing good, but the change was definitely something that we needed. It was the best thing for our lives that we could have done. I've been able to meet the right people here in the city, and I've been able to be put on, like, you know, I found out about hair shows when I moved out here. So if it wasn't for that, I'd probably still just be a barber, stuck in a barber shop somewhere in Miami, still trying to you know, I don't know, still just being stuck in my ways and being stuck just cutting hair, or I don't know, I probably would have gotten into something else, man, because honestly, before I moved up here, I was burnt out. I was even thinking of, when I moved up to Tampa, like becoming a police officer or a firefighter, you know, just getting into something different, just because I felt like I already maxed out and I wasn't going to grow anymore down there. So again, coming out here, it changed everything, because it changed my whole mindset. People value their barbers here more, so they paid more here. So on that, I was able to make more money, and because everybody was just so much cooler. Now, the people in Miami ain't cool, but the people out here were just so cool that it just felt right, you know. And then going to these hair shows and learning so much more about this business, being able to open my mind, it definitely changed everything, bro. So yeah, it's all right. That's enough about that stuff. We'll go ahead and get to this airport, get with this client, and then I'll talk to you guys later.
What came in the new whip?
What's up, baby?
What's good, bro?
Chilling, man. Chilling. How's the flight?
Good. It was good, thank God.
Hey, got my boy made it.
What's going on?
Hey, let's go.
From Jersey.
Yes, sir. All right, y'all. So I'll keep you guys informed. We're gonna head to the office and do this, man. Second session. Let's go. How you feeling?
I feel great, man. I feel blessed. You know, I'm here, obviously, with the guy who pioneered this in the U.S. Okay. So someone very reputable. It's gonna be a real cool video. We'll talk about a little bit of everything. And now I'm a young guy, man, 29, and huge advocate for this. And I was, well, long story short, my barber who grew up in the industry with Jesse, and for most who may know who he is, Danny Mora, more best known as Success Addict.
Sir, shout out.
He referenced me to Jesse after I seen that my barber Danny got it done. Said, let me do my research, let me check it out, let me see what this is about. And I said, you know what, everyone's an advocate for everything, everyone has a preference. The reality is this: I wasn't looking to do a hair transplant between turnaround time of healing, the financial cost of everything, of course traveling. I was not looking to do all of that. You know, I was looking to minimize that as much as possible. And to be honest with you, really wasn't caring to grow my hair back out anyway. So this was straight to the point, and yeah, we're here. I don't even know what else to say, man. I'm excited.
We're here. Well, we're gonna save the rest of it, because all right, so I ain't tell you guys, but we're filming a podcast. This is gonna be the third podcast. Y'all seen the Weed Tattoo Hair podcast. So we're gonna go in depth with his whole experience. We're gonna go in depth with his whole story, and yeah, man, I'll show you guys how it's done, baby. Let's do it. I'll let y'all later. Yo, all right, so we in the studio, about to get started. My boy right here, Armando. I'm gonna go ahead and cut him up. You know, every time a client comes to me, I always tell them not to shave the head. I want to see what it's looking like. And you know, man, by trade, I've been a barber for 27 years, man. So I still got to get my fix and cut him up. So I'm gonna do his beard, lace up his beard real fast. And again, this is his second session, so his hairline's already pretty much done. So I'm not really gonna map anything out. We're just gonna get right to it. But I got some guests in here right now, man. I got my boy Sean right here.
Hey, what's up, guys?
Hey.
All the way from Montreal. Parlez-vous français?
Hey, let's go. He's also an SMP artist, man. He just stopped by. Every time he comes to Tampa, boy, he always comes through, show love, man. So this is my boy right here. And then we got one of my students right here.
Hey, Henry, what's going on? Tampa, Florida.
Not much of a speaker, bro, but, you know, people got to get used to being on the camera, dog. And, you know, this whole experience, he's here shadowing me today just so he could watch. He came to watch me do the SMP, not knowing that he was going to watch a whole podcast. He was going to watch some vlogging going on. He's going to watch, you know, some content being created. So even though he took my class over a year ago, we're always constantly mentoring, teaching, and, you know, just trying to push the bar to the next limit. So enough talking. I'm going to get to this work. Talk to you guys in a little bit.
That's a nice little
All right, y'all. So haircut's done. Clean up his beard. Got him nice and sharp and clean, looking fresh. Already know we tattoo hair, baby. That's what we do. All right, so we're gonna start filming the podcast. You know, we got the We Tattoo Hair podcast, and the whole purpose of it is to be able to educate people that are looking for scalp micropigmentation, are looking for more information. Instead of getting the information from me, right? Because for me, some people will take it like, oh, he's just trying to sell me, he's trying to get me in the door because this is what he does, this is how he makes his money. So I created this podcast to be able to give you guys real testimonies from actual people who got it done, right? So you kind of hear what their struggles were, when they lost their hair, you know, leading up to decisions that they've probably taken, Rogaine, hair transplant, like whatever all those different things are, and people can relate to all of that stuff. So that's the whole purpose with the whole We Tattoo Hair podcast, and that's why I'm throwing it on YouTube right now, just to put this out there, man. We need, this industry is still not fully exposed, so we're trying to put this industry out there, let people know that this exists, and that this is definitely a solution for anybody that's experiencing any form of hair loss, whether it's a male or female. So we're gonna go ahead and get to it. All right, done deal. Second session is in there. My boy looking fresh.
You already know. That's just what it is.
Hey. All right, so we're going to take some after pictures right now, and then we're going to film the second part, well, the finalizing part of the podcast. So yeah, this is what it takes, man. This is what it takes to be able to create content for you guys, to be able to put this procedure out there so you guys can see exactly what it's like to, you know, experience the whole process of getting SMP done, man. So hopefully you guys are enjoying this whole little process right here to really learn how it's done, what it takes, and you get real life views from the person with it himself. Look at that. How you feeling right now?
Man, I'm just admiring. This is what greatness looks like, all right? That's what it's about. Persistence overcomes resistance.
All day.
Words are from the mouth and actions are from the heart. You see, so my man was persistent and he acted upon it. That's it. Yeah. This is the end result.
There's no other way. There's no other way.
No other way. So
hey, we got to keep it real 100% at all the time. So all right, we're gonna get to these pictures. See the little background right there. Let's get to it. All right, man. So we finally dropped my boy off at the airport. Man, today was a huge success. We put in a lot of work, a lot of time. Day's not over yet. And man, I forgot to get a little bit of footage of him, you know, getting off at the airport. You know, say his farewells to you guys. Well, not farewell, but see you later. Because you guys definitely see him in the third session. But hey, we got it done. The day's not over yet, man. So I still gotta go back home. I got a meal prep for my next couple of days. Definitely trying to take this health thing to the top level. I definitely want to be in the best shape that I've ever been in. So that's like one of my number one priorities right now. So I got a meal prep, and then I started taking this online digital marketing course to really understand Google. So I'll be Google Analytic certified, I'll be Google Ads certified, and HubSpot certified. So there's always room for growth, man. There's always room for education, and you always want to be learning. So I'll tell you what, man, something about me is I'm a student for life. And if it's something that can benefit me and that I can also share, teach others, put other people on, especially this industry lacks true marketing and advertising, man. There's a lot of scam artists out there that get over on us. So just here to improve people's lives and Shit, take this industry to the next level. So I'm driving back. I'm gonna go ahead and get off of this. Alright, so I'm driving back home right now. So we'll go ahead and jump off. So I'll check you guys later.